it's Olivia-Savannah here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and welcome to week 2 of All the World's a Page vlogs. I've already got this vlog started, so you've already seen bits and pieces of my day, but I thought it was about time that I gave you a speaking update. I'm actually filming this standing up, and I haven't filmed standing up in years. I used to film all of my videos this way, but today I've just done a lot of sitting, and I've been doing a lot of lying down because I'm sick and I'm isolating. So yeah, it's just good to stand up and move around, but I wanted to give you a bit of an update. So yesterday, you've already seen footage from yesterday, but I took a sick day off of work because I could just not focus on screens while I was feeling ill. And because I couldn't focus on screens, I was basically doing the same 3 things. That was having a lemon sip, reading and sleeping, and I just did that on repeat because there was literally nothing else I could really do. I just needed to let the sickness flow through my body. So I actually started and finished a book in the same day, which hasn't happened in ages with a book that is not a short book. For that one, I started and finished Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Dowd, and this is one of the oldest books on my TBR, so I've got that ticked off for this month. And it was not a good book. I didn't particularly like this. It's about these 3 girls who have these issues with 3 people that go to their school, and they decide that they're going to team up and get revenge on them. It was such a petty book, which feels a bit mean to say because there are some serious things that happen in this book, and there are times when these girls have gone through some serious traumatizing events because of things that have happened. But at the same time, I couldn't help thinking that lots of things that happened in this book felt incredibly petty and childish and could have been solved with people thinking for more than 5 seconds or not making assumptions or actually communicating. So it just felt overall a little bit petty, a little bit childish, and I was just severely frustrated with these characters. I might have felt for them a bit more if I liked any of them, but I didn't like any of our 3 main point of views either. When I started reading this one, I predicted that it was going to have a happy ending because it's a young adult contemporary and it's just a book, so I was like, it can fit for my prompt of problem play, all's well that ends well. Kind of. Pick a book that you think will have a happy ending, and I also mentioned that it doesn't matter if the book doesn't have a happy ending, which is good because I'm using it for this prompt and this book did not have a happy ending. Don't worry, it's not a spoiler because it's not that it did not have a not happy ending, it's the fact that it just was a cliffhanger. This book ends in a cliffhanger because it's the first one in a series, which is something I did not know. Needless to say, I will not be continuing the series, and it still fulfills this prompt because I did assume it was going to have a happy ending. Today I've just been working from home and I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday. As of the case of me being in front of a camera and talking, I really feel like I'm up to that now. The only thing that I'm doing a lot more is lying down and sleeping, but other than that I feel fully recovered. But that aside, I've also been doing a bit of reading of The Phantom of the Opera, which I have mentioned I'm not going to talk about in detail in these vlogs, but I am 75 pages away from the end of the book, and I really wanted to finish it yesterday, but I just had to have an early night, so I'm hoping to smash out as much of this as I can today, hopefully. So I think I'm just going to reply to YouTube comments, which is always one of my favorite things to do. Anyone who leaves a comment, you have my heart because you made me so happy. I love discussing books with you all, and even when it's just an emoji comment, honestly, it just makes me smile. I love it. I love all of it. Honey, you've got a big storm coming, and that storm is this massive update I'm going to do because in the last few days I have not been feeling very talkative, or I've been talking to other people and therefore have not had the energy to talk to a camera. So we're going to do one massive update. We're going to rewind, we're going to talk through it all, and it's going to be good fun. So first of all, some things that I need to tell you is that I've been reading a lot this week. So I am over halfway through The Great Alone by Kristin. I don't actually have much more to add. I'm really enjoying it. I think this one is going a bit slowly now, but I'm fine with it. It's like slow, savoring it, having a good time. So there's nothing more to add and nothing negative to say. From my last time, from the last time that I was talking to you, I also finished reading The Phantom of the Opera, which I'm holding upside down. Lovely, lovely. So finished reading The Phantom of the Opera. It's in its protective case again, just for the time being, and I do have a whole vlog on this, which you will have seen before you have seen this video, so I'll leave a link to that down below. But it was a very good ending. The end of the book was my favourite thing, and what I will say is that it's giving me Dracula meets Frankenstein vibes meets Haunted like a Hill House, like a haunting house situation, and it works really well and it was good fun, and I've probably said more than I even intended to, but yes. This book is for the prompt of Timon of Athens. Money, 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 read an expensive purchase. And I've already explained why this is not actually an expensive purchase for myself, but it is one of the most expensive books that I own. So therefore I read it for this prompt. We make our own rules. So after I finished reading that book, I went and I met Ellen from Luciana Books, and it was so nice to just go and meet her. We had dinner together, we browsed and walked around Waterstone's Piccadilly, and it was just so lovely to meet another booktuber who I've been talking to online. While I was on the tube to go and meet her, I started to read another book because I finished my other young adult contemporary, which is a travel book. So I started reading Scars Like Wings by Erin Stewart. So I tried to read a book that features a disability in it in April because Disability Readathon is happening, but Disability Readathon, you're supposed to read an Own Voices book, so I'm not actually really properly participating because this is not Own Voices, but this is a book that talks about a girl who is a burn survivor. Her house was on fire and she was the only one who survived that fire, and she's going to secondary school for the first time since she has had multiple surgeries and since she's had her experience where she ended up very badly burned, and she's very visibly burned, so if you see her you can tell that she's been through a fire, and she is going to school for the first time and it's an experience doing that. And actually I've been going so many places since I've updated you that I'm halfway through this book and I'm really liking it. I feel like it's a very good and honest description of things. It's not Own Voices from the author. The author was inspired by someone that she's met and who she was in very close communication with while writing this book, and it feels very authentic and true to it, even though it's not Own Voices. I did look up reviews for this one and I couldn't find any Own Voices reviews from other burn survivors, which was a bit of a shame because I would have really liked to hear their intake and insights on it. But personally I'm finding it very good, and she makes friends with someone who is a character that uses a wheelchair, so it's also nice to see some wheelchair representation in this book, and as Dad is a lovely character, he deserves all the happiness and the world. So enjoying this one. That's actually not on my All the World's a Page TBR plan that I have for myself. I'm not sure where it's going to fit in or if it really is going to, but nonetheless that's a book that I'm reading. Another book update is that I have been busy chugging my way through The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki, and just like with Scars of Wings, I am now halfway through. I don't actually have that much more to add from what I've said in previous vlogs because it's still very much talking about the same kind of things, and I'm still very much enjoying the metaphorical language that is grounded in reality, but you can tell that she's talking about other things while still talking about this one thing. It's just working wonders for me. The writing is amazing. The portrayal of characters is so realistic that I feel like Betty and Annabelle are real and can walk off of the page. I just think this book is fantastic and it's doing well. It's doing a good job, and if it continues going this well, it's going to be a very high rating from me. Loving it. So after all of that, the next thing I did was went to a book launch for Maddie Mortimer's book Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies. So it was a book launch where there were lots of bookstagrammers there and other book related content creators from the UK, and some of these people were people that I've interacted with online before, and it was nice to get to put a face to the name, get to meet them in person, and everybody was absolutely lovely. It was also amazing getting to talk to Maddie Mortimer about her book and her writing processes and her styles, and we got to ask questions. There were cocktails, there were finished copies of the book, and I got my proof signed and also a finished copy signed. So I'm just very, very happy, and it was such a lovely evening. I'm so glad I got to go. But speaking of that, I'm also currently reading Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies by Maddie Mortimer, which was the book from the book launch. And this one is following a woman who has previously had cancer, and her cancer has come back. And this time it's not looking so positive. She is a wife, she is a mother, and it's just her trying to live and continue living her daily life for as long as she possibly can. But also, we get her perspective, we get some of her family members' perspective, but we are also getting the perspective of the cancer within her body. And I found that incredibly unique, and I am actually halfway through. Because I'm about to tell you about Birmingham, but while I was in Birmingham, I was reading this book and I was having the time of my life reading it, because the poetic writing style that Maddie Mortimer has is just so unique to me. It's kind of abstract, but then it's grounded in a certain way that's just working so well. You can tell that she's got some poetic styles to her writing, and it feels like reading poetry from the page, but at the same time she's just doing such a phenomenal job of building each and every single one of these characters. I fully believe they are the way that they are, and I fully believe all of their motivations and reasons for things. And it's so interesting seeing them interact with each other, because they're all, you know, starting their grieving process early because of the fact that this is the cancer that has come back. They're all kind of in a state where they're kind of grieving, they're kind of holding on to the moments that they have, but they've got very different things happening in their lives. We've got a teenager who's growing up, and while she wants to be there for her mother, she's going through all of those hormonal things about feeling grumpy, and there's bullies at school, and you can just see all of these characters balancing their own independent lives, but also how their life is connected to Leah's, who is our main character. It's also looking at the past and the present day, so we get to see a bit about Leah's relationships that she's had with her own parents and other things that's happened in her life, which are influencing the way that she is acting and being now. Fascinating. It's quite a long book. It's got 400 pages in this proof copy, but I'm pretty much blazing my way through this. I'm already halfway. Yes, I got back from that book launch at like 11 p.m. and then I had to pack because I was going to Birmingham the next day, and I was catching an 8 a.m. train, an 8 a.m. coach, which means I had to leave my house at like 7 a.m. It was a time. I went to Birmingham and I went and I visited my friend Faye, who I was in Australia with and I know from uni, and it was so nice to get to see Faye and just have some time with them because their stomping ground is Birmingham now. And I got to meet Faye's partner. I was there for 3 days, so for the first day we just went around the city, got to see the Bull Ring and like cafes and what it's all like over there, and it was just beautiful views, beautiful place. Really enjoyed getting to see it. And me and Faye kind of watched Bit, which is this like vampire film with a transgender actor as the main character. It was not a good film. I don't recommend. I was asleep for the middle of it, so I can't really tell you what happened there, but even then it was a bit of a messy film. But it was nice to watch it with Faye. And then the next day we went to the Botanical Gardens. I love plants, I love sunshine, so I had the best time just feeling completely relaxed and at ease, lying in the sun, reading my book and just being in Faye's company. And then we walked around and saw some of the plants and some of the birds, and it was just a lovely day. I'm in Birmingham.
Hello.
With Faye and Rowan. Saturday, I started and finished a book. It was a relatively short book, but I was enjoying it that much that I could start and finish it in the same day, which is a book called Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson. And this is a book that follows a black family, and you are jumping all over the timeline and jumping between the characters' mindsets, and it's just about a black family and what they've done, because the mum has a child quite young, and it's about the events that lead up to this, but it's also about this young child as a teenager and what's going on in her life. And it was so impressive to me. Again, the writing style was just hitting the mark. It was poetic, it flowed beautifully, it had some lightly metaphorical moments, but mostly was very grounded in reality and was very well written prose. I liked an unlikable character. I know this never happens to me. Who even am I? But the way that Jacqueline Woodson wrote this unlikable character was fantastic. And one of my favourite things when you get books which go between other characters is when you can be in someone's mindset and see the way that secondary characters affect them and negatively affect them, and you really don't like that character and you think they're doing everything wrong and they're horrible and mean, and then you go into their perspective and you completely understand what they've been through and why they make the decisions to do what they do. Made so much sense. It was nice to see a mother who was like this. I feel like often we get perceptions of mothers that are loving and kind, and who, not to say that this mother is not those things, but often there's portrayals of fathers feeling distant to parenthood and mothers feeling very close to parenthood, and it was nice to kind of see those roles reversed a little bit. I just had a fantastic time being in these characters' minds and seeing the ways that they were working and fitting together and not fitting together, and it just came together beautifully. I was incredibly satisfied with the ending, and it was nice to read a book with a black family that had complex family dynamics and really dug into characters, and it was not about racism. I really like that. So very good, very good. Red at the Bone fulfills the prompt of Antony and Cleopatra. The verbal banter and sparring between these two characters is unparalleled. It's everything. Read a book by an author whose writing style you enjoy. And I've read Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson before, so I knew that I liked her writing style, but I have to say the writing style in this one is quite different. Makes sense because it's prose and not a novel in verse. And even though it's different, it has some similarities, but it was a writing style that I absolutely loved, and I will definitely be reading more by Jacqueline Woodson. So yeah. On that Saturday evening was also the All the World's a Page watch along, and we watched Ophelia, the 2019 version that stars Daisy Ridley. And when I saw it had Daisy Ridley in it, I was not excited. As a Star Wars fan, I did not like Daisy Ridley in the role that she was in Star Wars. It was a no from me, no. But Ophelia was a pretty decent film. I wouldn't say it's my favourite Shakespeare adaptation or go into it expecting it to be very incredibly feminist, but I think it took things in an interesting direction. I liked the things that they changed. I thought the ending and the build up to the ending was very well done. The music, the drama, it's Hamlet, so I can say this without spoiling anything. The body count, it was fantastic and came together very well. There were some parts where I was just a bit like, meh, but nothing was very bad to me. Yeah, overall, a pretty decent film. I had a good time with it. I wouldn't say it's a must watch, but I wouldn't say don't watch it if you're a Shakespeare fan. And I want to give you an update on my progress with the Count of Monte Cristo, because it's going so well. We've only got 85 pages left, so we're definitely finishing it this month, and so much is happening. It's so exciting, it's all coming together, and I'm here for it. It's even hard for me to talk about it at this point because I can't give any spoilers, but I'm impressed that even though this book is like over 800 pages with tiny font, in most editions it's like over 1,000 pages, it's still managing to surprise me. It's still managing to bring different things to the table. I'm just sitting there in anticipation of the next day so I can read my next chapter and see all of the exciting things. So that's all of the reading updates I have to give you. I'm gonna make some meat-free bacon. I love Richmond veggie sausages, the best. And now they've come out with all new things like Richmond veggie burgers and beef mince, but there's no meat involved and all of this jazz. And I'm gonna try each and every single one of them because I love their veggie sausages. I don't eat many meat substitutes. I'm not a big fan of them, but I am a big fan of their veggie sausages, so I have high hopes. So I'm gonna make that bacon tonight. I'm gonna watch an episode of Kuroko's Basketball because I haven't watched it in ages, and I'm gonna make a tea from the tea calendar so that we can finish out this vlog with some tea tasting because I haven't done it yet. So, the calendar. Which day do I need to go to? I need to find 6. 6 is, oh, yes. 6 is 3 ginger. Yes. 3 wise herbal kings are here. Majestic heat to feel the cheer. I'm way too excited about this. It says a warming swirl of ginger, galangal and golden turmeric. I love ginger. I think ginger is fantastic in food as a spice. I really like the lemon, manuka, honey and ginger tea, but 3 ginger is amping up the ginger taste. And I'm very excited and ready to try this tea. So I'm gonna make a cup of tea, I'm gonna make dinner, I'm gonna watch anime, and I think I'm gonna read my graphic novel because I want to read something quick and short and doesn't take too much brain power. Not today. Okay, this is so much fun for me because I'm reading the Artemis Fowl graphic novel and I love Artemis Fowl. It's one of my favourite middle grade series. Loved it in 2020 when I read the whole series, and we're just going, oof, just bashed myself on the face with the book, but we've just gone right back to the beginning and it's like all starting again and it feels like I'm rereading a book that I love, and I've read 2 pages and I'm excited. But you can see, but this is Butler. This is Butler. Butler is not supposed to have hair, okay? One of the great things about Butler is that he's a bald-headed man. I also don't mean to be nitpicky, but I love these books so much. So when I say that this is not the face of it, like, I don't know how old he is at the beginning anymore. 12? 13? That does not look like a 13-year-old boy. This looks like a stressed out, I don't know, 20-year-old. We're still at the beginning, so there's no spoilers so far, but I don't know how I feel about the artwork choices. But the good thing that they did is that Holly Short is actually indeed coffee coloured and not whitewashed like she is on all the other covers. So that's promising. Okay, I'm back to end out this second week vlog, which is actually bridged into week 3, but I'm here to end it out now. I finished trying the 3 ginger tea and it was very, very good. I did expect the ginger to be stronger, but maybe that's just because I'm so used to ginger beer and I love ginger beer, and that can be quite strong, or at least the good ginger beer is very strong. And I've also had homemade ginger beer before and it's just amazing and very, very strong. Just cleans up your synapses, cleans you up. So I was expecting the ginger tea to have more heavier ginger flavors, but maybe not everybody can handle that. And that aside, I thought it was a very, very good tea. Would get again for sure. Really enjoyed it. And that's it for this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it and been on this lovely journey with me. Please let me know in the comment section down below, do you enjoy botanical gardens? What are some of your favorite plants, some of your favorite flowers? Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior.